Okay, this will be a challenging one. See if we can make this come up a treat. I don't know how big we're going to make this. Going to make this into something really interesting, even though it's a difficult one. All right, let's see what we have. We have here, it is a pencil case to do with an Egyptian pharaoh. Yeah, interesting. So it's got stuff on the back about it. So this is a pencil case. So it's going to be about A5 in length. So I'm just going to lie that down. So, but yeah, it's an interesting looking pencil case. History teachers would probably like it. History teachers indeed. Yeah, that looks really quite interesting. It looks pretty fat. Wondering if we're going to make it bigger or we're going to leave it like that. Going to move it around. Wondering how far are we against the edge. It's a bit crooked. Just going to straighten it up a bit. Maybe enlarge it even bigger. Going to go an extra 20%. But yeah, I'm sure history teachers would probably like a student to come to school with a pencil case like that, assuming that they love their job. It's like their sort of thing. Yeah, looks like, still looks a bit, which one are we going to use? But yeah, it's like a history teacher would definitely be pleased to see a student coming to school with something like this. Maybe we can change the paper, the original type, and maybe going to make it 340. I never liked school, folks. I got bullied all the time. I never had any time to myself where I could feel, or I didn't have any time. As long as there were kids in the vicinity, I'd get teased and bullied to the point of every day, and I just couldn't win. Those idiots just kept at me all the time, and I just had no respect, no fucking. I just couldn't fucking enjoy myself. There was no such thing as enjoyment of school. Oh, sure, there were some good times. My favourite year at school undoubtedly would be 1986, the year I discovered photocopiers as an art tool. That I enjoyed. Now I'm thinking this is not working. I think we just go back to that. But that was when I enjoyed school. The school magazine was a way of self-promotion. I had someone photocopied my face, and I got the copy after the person who photocopied my face had the copy, and I managed to get it off someone who was handing it round, because obviously photocopying a face was quite an exciting and new thing, and people thought it was fucking funny, and they're obviously taking the piss out of me, but that was all right in that case. They were having a bit of a go at it, and they were just handing the photocopied face around. So yeah, we're going to move this. So it was really, to me, 1986 was the best year of my school life, even though I got teased and bullied mercilessly. I still had some enjoyment out of the year and the notoriety of my photocopier exploits. But it's fun, having a bit of notoriety. Now that looks interesting. I'm wondering what we're going to do with it. We didn't get much of the face in. Going to try maybe enlarge a section out of this. Maybe going to make it there. But basically I really, apart from 1986 was my favourite year. It was a year that I'll never forget. I don't want to go back there, folks, but it was a year I used to long for, because I had problems in my life, and I used to long for 1986 to go back in time and stay there in that year, because it was a relatively happy kind of year. I really missed that year for a long time. I don't miss it anymore, but I still like to think of it as a watershed year, special year. Sorry about that. I like to think about it as a special watershed year, because I now see a bright future for me. And one of the things I want to do in the future, a long way off from now, is to design my own copier systems that'll be environmentally and humanitarianly friendly. So they're going to be good for our planet and good for the human race, these photocopiers that I propose to build. And I'm not interested in doing what the current industry is doing, and that is to fuck the planet and to hurt people, like people in sweatshops who manufacture this shit. Like Konica Minolta shit. Like this equipment we have here in front of us is manufactured in large part in sweatshops, from what I can tell. Made in China, made in Vietnam. Third world countries, of course they're made in fucking sweatshop environments. You just can't get away from it. I needed to have this equipment because my old equipment, the spare parts were no longer available. Oh, surprise, surprise. Konica Minolta pulled a swift one on me. They fucking don't care. So you can't use the new spare parts on the old equipments. They've designed it that way so that, and it's just not good for our environment or the human race. And they don't have any respect at all. And really angry at companies like Konica Minolta. I really am. I have no fucking admiration or reverence for these corporate entities. So I want to build a photocopier that lasts 60 years, spare parts, consumables, servicing for 60 years. And then after that, the photocopier can be dismantled easily for recycling. And basically, now this is too small. So basically we have to do something about this environmental carnage that we see happen at this stage. We can't have the shit that we have now happening and having to accept what's happening as a... Honestly, I have no respect for the human... No, not the human race. I have no respect for the people in the industry who don't care about the human race or the environment. And the environment is necessary to keep, because we can't survive without it. Where do we get our food and our water from? You know, where do we do that? And where does your cup of coffee come from, CEO? Shai Yamana? Where do you fucking get your coffee from? You know, we need, whether it be necessary drinks like water or less important things but luxury things like coffee, we've got to consider where they come from, and therefore we've got to look after our planet. And I'm just forever annoyed with the way the world has become. It's full of money grubbing, money fucking, thieves who just don't care. And I want to make a difference. And 1986 was the beginning of my love of photocopiers coming into play. And I now want to make my life complete, not just for me, but for the planet and the human race. And we're going to try to use as many recycled product as much as we can, or materials. Raw materials will be sourced from places like India and China, where electronic waste is typically dumped. I want to clean that up, folks, while we're creating a first-class product that makes people happy instead of alienating people. But no, these industry people of today can't think ahead. They just think of their fucking two years ahead or whatever it is to see if they can make a huge profit, making things break too early and not being fixable. I had to get a new photocopier because of this, and I'm not happy with Konica Minolta, the way they've made it that way. And the company that I went through, Mytronics, must have been really embarrassed to see that they couldn't service my machine anymore under a service agreement, because Konica Minolta didn't have the parts and they had to pass it on to Mytronics, which had to fucking pass it on to me. And I had to get a new fucking photocopier. Not happy, Konica. Anyway, that looks really quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.